be honest, this is the first year that I'm actually overseeing this program, and it's in its 10th year, so I wanted to make sure that it was the best year ever. This being possibly one of the last times we're in Fortaleza, I wanted to make sure that it was special, not just for the faculty, the students, but also our team on the ground. I think we've had an amazing team, but it takes a village to plan something like this, and there's no other program like this in the country. 9 weeks abroad, 15 units of credit, and a lot of moving around is a lot to plan logistically behind the scenes.
What I always think about, I've had that question asked a lot of times, is that given we're bringing U of A faculty, we're bringing U of A students, are we just doing the same thing that we would do in Tucson? And the answer is absolutely not. That one of the things I think what happens is that you're just one element in Tucson of a complicated life. We're actually a community that works together. And this time it's been amazing. I mean, we've had to figure out how to adapt to a variety of things. We learned different things that perhaps an exciting time when you have a cultural event like a World Cup game, that we move things around, and we can do that, and we have the chance to do those sort of approaches. And now we also are able to bring that into the classroom, that when we did a business visit, that we were able to look not just simply at a case study, but we saw people, we saw what they were doing, we saw how it fit. We purchased sometimes the products or used the products that they were manufacturing and what's there. All of a sudden is a much more integrated environment, a much more focused and intense environment that allows the richness of the experience to be, in my opinion, much better than what they would encounter in that same class when I taught it in Tucson.
I decided to join the Global Cohort program because up to this point, I had never really gotten to experience anything outside of my social group or my group within Phoenix, Arizona and Tucson, Arizona. And coming to Fortaleza, Brazil, my eyes have really been opened to different cultures and different practices and different financial and social situations that people have been put in. And it's really an experience nothing like anything I've ever been exposed to before.
Some things that I can add on about my experience here so far is that I absolutely love the Brazilian people. They are very warm. Although there is a language barrier, they're always trying to make us happy and to please us, and that's something that I value very much after traveling to different places. Along with that, their food is delicious and it's beautiful here.
I tried to come into this experience without really any preconceived notions or preconceived expectations, but I did expect for it to be a lot different. I know that in Brazil it's a lot more laid back when it comes to the actual business culture and the culture of the community in general. One of the things that really surprised me was how active Fortaleza was and how, I guess, frequently active the community was.
I did not expect much going into Fortaleza. I knew that it was a populated city, but I didn't realize how building-oriented it was and how touristy it was compared to the rest of Brazil. So it exceeded my expectations of what it would be like, the city life. So far, it's been an amazing experience.
Going to the Amazon, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into, and it was definitely not what I expected. The eco park that we got to stay at was one of the most amazing locations that I've ever had the chance to stay at.
I remember flying in, looking over the trees and the rivers of the Rio Negro was really cool, and then getting to take the ferry to our hotel within the forest, and then that night we got to go see alligators in the Rio Negro, which was an amazing experience.
The Amazon was definitely my favorite trip because we didn't have anything to worry about it. Seeing the animals was the best part about the Amazon.
Being able to see all the animals, we swam with pink-nosed dolphins.
The pink dolphins was really fun. We got to go into the water with the dolphins, and I remember the person who was helping us teasing the dolphins out of the water with some fish, and we got to almost get tackled by these pink dolphins. It was a really fun experience then.
So while in the Amazons, I got to hold alligators, I held a sloth, faced one of my biggest fears with holding a snake across my neck. I don't know if I would do that one again, but it was an awesome experience. Saw a fish bigger than me.
The monkeys around there were absolutely amazing to watch, how majestically they slid from tree to tree, climbed up, they came down, snagged their food, and took off.
I'd say one of my favorite parts of the trip was going on that trail through the rainforest. One of the really interesting aspects was when our tour guide put his hands on an ant nest and just like yelled into the ant nest and had all these ants going through his hands, and he just rubbed it all over him, made it as a natural repellent.
During our time in Brazil, we were able to go on a couple company visits, one of them being a company called Indaiá, which is a water company. And basically on these company visits, we were able to see how big the company was. These company visits were awesome. We were able to get like kind of hands-on, get up close, see how the company worked, what they made. Basically the stuff that you'll never be able to see unless you have an opportunity to go visit the company, which is rare. And they just welcomed us in. They showed us, they told us numerous information about the company, and it was kind of eye-opening just how you saw a basic water bottle that you pick up at the store and how that, what the steps are to making that. And that was really awesome to me, seeing how just how much work goes into making a simple water bottle that you pick up at the store.
So on our first business visit, when we went to see the broadcast, I thought it was really interesting how there was all different aspects of entertainment in one place. It just seemed like back in the United States that there's separate places, facilities for that, but here is all in one spot, which I thought was cool.
International perspective and the connections with the world. The mayor is a U of A graduate. And so elements of University of Arizona are here.
So before going to Jerry, I definitely looked it up a little bit. I heard that it was one of the most famous beaches in the world. I had to get a little bit of a glance at it before we went.
I expected a big beach town, and after going there I realized it's a much smaller area than I expected, but much more remote with sand dunes everywhere.
And it lived up to expectations. Going there was absolutely insane, whether it be the dune buggy ride that we went on, which was absolutely crazy, being able to go through these dunes and move around on the sand like something, it was like something I'd never experienced before. Able to go to these lagoons, these freshwater pools in the middle of nowhere, pretty much like an oasis within a desert, and being able to experience that, the blue waters and the beaches and even the culture of that place in general was just different than anything else I've ever experienced in my life.
One of the coolest experiences in Jerry was the second day we went to this rock had a huge arch in it, and we just hung out there for a little bit. It was a very fun experience. The arch was a lot more surreal than I expected and seen in photos.
Nothing could have prepared me for how beautiful it was. You know, everything just seemed really in its place. I remember seeing the sand dune on the beach, and we got to go up to that sand dune that first night, hang out with everybody in the cohort, and look at the sunset as it dipped below the horizon.
The Eller Global Cohort does such a great job of integrating international relations and the aspect of business. With a bunch of businesses expanding internationally and technology bringing us closer together, it's so important to understand cultural norms and values. And we have learned so much of how to kind of adapt to other cultures and how we, through our marketing classes, through competitive analysis, and bringing it all together with case competition. And not only did we have a challenge of gathering information about our company, it was also a challenge to kind of see how our company is going to adapt to the Brazilian culture and how the economy would affect our business. Seeing how an American business can kind of transform to fit a culture and thrive. It was definitely rewarding because eventually I would like to go into international business, and kind of getting a glimpse of what I'm getting myself into. It's reassuring that I know I'm going in the right direction. This is what I want to do.
It really didn't seem as much to be like work. It ended up just being a fun experience, working towards a common goal, and our team ended up doing really well. We came up with unique decisions, we came up with a corporate social responsibility to bring water bottles to Fortaleza and the favelas of Fortaleza, and we would sponsor beach equipment, and we ended up winning, and it was a really fun experience, really one of a kind.
No
so excited to see us come, and even though there was that language barrier, you could just see the happiness and excitement in their eyes for older teenagers to come and play with them. We did tag, jump rope, basketball, and they taught us new ways how to play some of their games, and it was just a lot of fun. I showed a few of them a picture of Disneyland, and it was so rewarding to see how excited they were, and kind of hear them talk about Mickey and Minnie, and it was great. Those kids are so adorable. I wish we'd had another service day like that.
The service day that we were able to spend at the elementary school with all of those kids was absolutely amazing. It has to be one of my favorite parts of the trip. I spent most of my time on the playground with the kindergartners and first graders playing tag, and did they tire me out. I've never seen kids with such energy and happiness, and what amazed me the most is that coming from an economic standing that isn't similar to the one that I was brought up in, they were so happy, and the teachers as well, and just the pure joy and understanding for what they were able to experience that day was absolutely amazing. And one of my favorite parts was getting Portuguese lessons from a couple of the kids. For about a half an hour, I got to learn a little bit about their culture, and I'm glad that I had that experience.
Rio is the perfect end to the trip because we don't have to worry about any assignments that are due, and it's kind of a celebration of the whole trip in general.
So the opportunity to go to Rio has been one that I've been looking for my whole life, and I've already been blown away, way past expectations with every excursions that we've been able to go on for this trip so far, so I expect that Rio is going to do the same. I cannot wait to see the Christ the Redeemer statue. That is something that I've been wanting to do for my entire life, and people speak about it all the time. I'm also going to take advantage of all the different aspects within Rio, be able to go see Carnival and experience the beaches in Rio.
So if somebody came to me asking if they should join the global cohort of Eller, I would say 100% go for it. Every person I've talked to in this global cohort has loved their time. I've loved my time here. Every person from other cohorts have loved their time. It's never been a situation you regret. You're never going to regret meeting 60 new friends. You're never going to regret experiencing new cultures and seeing new sceneries and environments and meeting new people. It's really not something you're going to have another chance to do. And my parents, my family, friends have all told me they wish that they got to do the global cohort.
So this is the 10th anniversary of our global cohort program, and even though our esteemed leader who started the program, Dr. Uma Shankar, is no longer with us, she's retired and enjoying her retirement life. She passed the baton on to me, and I wanted to make sure that it was very special, and that's why we kept it in Fortaleza. She loved this place, and she didn't want to leave, and so we wanted to finish and capitalize this amazing 10th year anniversary in a place that's close and dear to all of our hearts. One of the things that people don't really know is all the work that goes into it, but it's also our on-the-ground team. Everybody from our local staff to our staff that we bring with us, to our faculty, to our cameramen and videographers, everybody. It's a team effort. And the people in Fortaleza are what make this program very special. And I guarantee that no one will ever forget the people and the time that we spent here. It's been amazing. And I think this has been a very successful 10th year program. So I'm very pleased and very happy with it.